Hello and welcome back, everybody. DL here, and finally, the day before the collab is upon us. Finally, we are going to get some actual fun, good content that we've all honestly been waiting for. Legend Volk sure is fun, but it's more annoying than anything else. Collab is having cheese right now. I'll probably do something on that a little bit later. Probably when the weeklies reset, that way I can get that first clear as well. But either way, this is going to be about the new showcase, as we can see right here. So, we now officially have banner information, and also, just a heads up, Cleo is now confirmed to be the raid unit. So, just if you are a massive fan of Cleo, guess what? You are in luck. You are guaranteed to get her. So, however, though, the Paracorin, I'm gonna butcher her name. Alright, I'm gonna butcher every name, let's face it. Forger, Mitsuba, and Lumiere Pandora are all general pool units. So, what I recommend you guys do, even before I go in on the banner, alright, is that you keep that in mind throughout the entire time, alright? And also, one thing to note as well, this is going to be a prize showcase, alright? So we will be getting the platinum, the platinum prizes, the gold prizes, silver, bronze, 5th, and 6th prize with this summon showcase as well. However, in my opinion, before I even look at the units, the prize showcase is not warranted enough in order for you to go in. And the reason I say this is because you're not guaranteed the rarest materials. It's all chance, the prizes. If you're summoning just for the prizes, you are a whale. I'm just gonna say that right now. Alright? But however, just if you wanna risk it, more than welcome to, because I do know that people, they do want to go for her, because this will be the only time she's ever on rate up. So for that, sure, go for it. But however, in my opinion, you can always pull them again in the general pool. There's no real reason to go for it. So now, just a little bit of more stuff on the prize showcase before I go into the units themselves. Sunlight Stone, Damascus Ingot, and the Adamantite Ingot. Very nice for the platinum. Then gold, ores, testaments, keys, and a lot of sand, actually. Damn. They're really filling some on sands now. Then for silver, Jamie's Testament, 1 ore, 3 sands, crystals, moonlight, knights, tails, spheres, orbs, and tier 4 orbs. So honestly, once again, it's focused around light. This is the second light prize showcase we've had in a very short period of time. Like, come on, Sai. Give us something new here. Let's face it, give us something new. But once again, we are not guaranteed the platinums at all. So if you're summoning just for the prizes, I would recommend you hold against that. I would recommend that at all. So, now moving into the units themselves. We have the only collab unit herself. She is an attack unit, and now let's move into her skills. So, first skill is shareable. Light damage to enemies reduces shadow damage taken by the user by 10% for 10 seconds. And the damage reduction will not stack. This is okay. Sure, we'll have to see mods, obviously, but looks alright. So then if this skill is used after her unique gauge has been filled, a variant will be used instead. I'm not going to pronounce it. Alright, so now the variant is dealing light damage, increases user strength by 40% for only 5 seconds. Once the gauge is depleted, this skill will revert to its initial effect. So, because of this right here, the 40%, it's strong, but it's only 5 seconds. So, unless if this is a very fast skill, it's in my opinion. It's only Now onto the S2, increases user's defense by 15% for 15 seconds, restores HP, and partially fills the gauge. As for how much partially, we don't know. We'll have to see her in action. So now, Collab's, she did keep Dragon Haste, and 6% equals Strength. Okay, sure, whatever, honestly. Now we move into her abilities. So, first ability, she gains her unique gauge. So now it fills only when the S2 is used. When the gauge is filled, she also gets a unique Force Strike, and the gauge gradually begins to deplete. The user's second skill will not fill the gauge while it is being depleted. Once it's depleted, the Force Strike will revert to its initial effect. So we don't know how much S2s it will take to fill it, nor how long the depletion lasts. Those are two things we'll have to figure out when we get the hands on the unit itself. Has 100% curse res, and also user strength is increased by 20% for 10 seconds when their HP is restored. After activating, it will not activate again for 20 seconds. So pretty much, you can slap on the strength 20% every time she uses the S2. So the S2 is really 15% defense, 20% strength, and a heal, as well as filling the gauge. So the S2 is honestly the best part about her, because in my opinion, the S1, well, a lot of stuff has to depend on how fast she can get it, her mods. Like, a lot of stuff is reliant on all of that. But overall, she could have potential to be good. I will say that. She has potential to be a pretty solid unit. I don't think she'll overtake anything that already exists in Light. Maybe Guden for Tartarus rooms, maybe. But dual res. Even though, well, there are ways around that because Guka exists for that. So yeah. Alright, so now, moving on, we have Forger Mitsuba. The alt for Mitsuba is now here. Oh, and by the way, in the background, you can see a little Cleo and her as well eating jelly donut? Is that what it is? I get Brock flashbacks. Alright, so the first skill is shareable, and wind damage and bleeding. So she's a katana bleeder. So Victor, gotcha! So let's see now. Grants the user a new dish for every 15 hit combo, creates a buff zone, that's random for 15 seconds. This buff zone's effect will be based on the number of new dishes the user has up to a max of 3. So pretty much 45 hit combo, that's when you're optimizing this skill. 15 hits will be skill damage 10% buff zone, 30 hits will be skill damage 10% and crit rate 10% buff zone. And 45 hits will be skill damage, crit rate, and strength 5% buff zone. So honestly, pretty nice. And this skill can only be used when the user has at least one new dish, and using it will consume all new dishes. Very interesting, but well, this can be very interesting for some units that do want crit rate, that do want more skill damage. So honestly, she ain't bad by the looks of this so far. Collab is standard strength and HP certain amount of water res. Okay. So now, whenever she bleeds, she gets a strength 10% for 10 seconds, and it will not activate for 5 seconds afterward. Okay. Freeze res. Then this right here. When using the S2, aka her buff zones, grants the user Pluked Manderish effect. When this effect is active, the user's skill gauge fill rate will be increased by 15%, and their next Force Strike will inflict poison. So she does have a way to poison. Honestly, very nice. And also, increasing the fill rate is honestly very nice. Honestly, it's very, very nice. So therefore, she'll then be able to get off more bleeds, be able to get her dishes out a little bit more often as well. Not fully optimizing the 3 potentially, maybe even getting off 1, maybe 2 very quickly will be nice as well. So honestly, she's not a bad support unit, but however, we just have other options, I would say. I can definitely see her having some form of fun usage, though, especially because she can bleed and poison, potentially. Just slap her on with a couple of poisoners as well, and honestly, I feel like she's going to do pretty well. Not gonna lie. I feel like she can do well. So now moving on to the dragon, we have, I'm just gonna call her Pandora, alright? And well, I was actually reading her little bio, her little bio here. We're going to get a box of a calamity eventually, dragon. So in short, we might get a dark version of this potentially, which is honestly pretty cool, and I'm going to get to why actually. So first of all, her skill, in my opinion, don't use because how I see her is she's more of a dragon meant for AI, all right? Especially in certain situations in which you will see soon. Increases user strength by 25% and crit rate by 15% for 15 seconds. Okay, sure. It's nice. If it were team, it would be busted, but it's only users. It's only okay then. Now though, here's where she gets good. So if the user is attuned to light, increases strength by 20% for every Joyful Radiance stack the user has. So the user will be granted 4 Joyful Radiance stacks at the start of the quest. So she starts with 80%, and they will be granted an additional stack every time their strength, defense, elemental res, crit rate, crit damage, energy level, or inspiration is increased by 1 of their own skills. So this is why she is interesting. Because well, as long as you fulfill one of those requirements, as long as their kit increases one of them, they are keeping Joyful Radiance. I do not know if this applies to buff zones. I mainly mention this for Gala Euden. So, what I will say is, if double buff comp were to come to Light, aka Roizen Mana 70, she will be good on Roizen. Like, very, very good. Because, as we follow, Joyful Radiance can stack up to 4 times, and 1 stack will be consumed every 20 seconds. So in short, she starts as an 80% strength dragon, and as long as you're using strength, defense, elemental res, crit rate, crit damage, energy level, or inspiration, you're keeping it very efficiently. So for example, Lucretia can keep her very efficiently. Maguka probably can. I don't. I think he can. I think he can keep her pretty efficiently. So as long as it's in their kit, it's fine. I do not know if share skills or Agito skills count toward this. That's something we'll have to get our hands on her and see for ourselves. But overall, she is the best general pool light dragon. All right, just gonna say that right now. She is the best general pool light dragon. However, if you have Thor and Daiko, you will use them over her. All right. However, she will be great on AI that can keep those buffs rolling. That's how she'll be very, very good. But beyond that, the other units, honestly, there are just better options out there for what either metas are or just in general what we have available to us for content. So sadly, I will say that this banner is an absolute skip, unless if you truly care about the collab unit. If you're diehard of Mitsuba, and or just if you really need a light dragon. Other than that, I find literally no reason to summon. Prize Showcase is not an excuse for me. Like, that's honestly all I really have to say about these units. I'm still very excited to see how these units perform and just how everything will mesh now. We will get a little bit of a meta shift in Tartarus, especially. In Ciela, it's mostly auto. But, well, I do know that Ciela does have a set meta. I don't know it because, once again, I auto it, so So I'm not in the loop with Ciela at all. But yeah, I'm still very excited to see what everyone does, and I'll honestly call this video here because I have nothing else to really say. So until then, tomorrow I will be doing stuff related to the collab itself, and I will see you all in the next video. So I will see you then.